Hey, happy Friday. Megan Schultz here, your host of Cream City Dreams on Wednesdays and the Cream City Digest on Fridays. Short and sweet episodes where I fill you in on all the inspiring things that I'm seeing throughout the week. And in this short mini-series in May, just some meta reflection on attention, what I'm noticing about my own attention and about the idea of giving up social media, how I'm preparing for this June detox. I hope you will tune in on Fridays and maybe consider joining me. Maybe you could use a break too. At least you can get some food for thought in these bite-sized episodes every Friday. Hey, happy Friday. Happy Digest Day. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Tekla, where we talked all about mindfulness and self-compassion and noticing our own attention. I hope that these episodes are giving you some food for thought about your own attention and where you put it, who you give it to, whether that's who you want to be giving it to or what you want to be giving it to. I hope, as in the metaphor that I used last week in the digest about the caramel delight cookies, you are finding ways to be present and give your attention over wholly to where you are, in that case, what you're chewing on, but finding ways to be more present wherever you are, whatever that means, whether it's at a stoplight or in a grocery store line or at school pickup with your partner out at dinner. I hope just being a self-reporter on your own noticings, and obviously in this case, we're talking about how you interact with technology and social media, that just listening to our conversations has made you more aware of when you reach for your phone. What time of day is it? Do you need to be there? Do you have to react or respond immediately? Could it wait until dinner is over? Or could it wait until morning? Those kinds of questions, those are just the seeds we are planting. And if you listen to the episode this week, you know that Tekla and I are going to meet in real life and invite Cream City Dreamers to come join us and talk about your own experience of how it's going for you if you're joining us, or if you just want to meet us and say hey and hear how it's going for us. I will put details in next week's newsletter, so make sure that you are subscribed. Hop over to creamcitydreams.com and sign up. I will also put the link in the show notes to make it super easy. And I know there'll be a few people joining us because I have been getting more response from these episodes, I think, than I've probably gotten in the course of this whole podcast. So I know this focus on attention is striking a chord or hitting a nerve in some cases. So I know there are going to be people joining us. In addition, I got a fun email from a friend of mine who I haven't heard from in a while, who told me that over the course of the last year, she has been in training to be a forest therapy guide. And would I like to bring a group of women on a nature walk to be led by her? And I was like, yes, I would. So I'm thinking that maybe we will offer that too in the last week of June to listeners who are interested in this experience. So yet another chance to get offline and meet in real life. Why save nature and outdoors and summer camp and summer fun for the kids? Let's do some things of our own as well. So sign up for the newsletter again so that you can get the details on that. And speaking of cool things that we can be doing off screen, I just want to put in a little plug that I heard about this week from someone who's becoming a new friend, who is also a thought leader and teacher and instructor and local expert in mindfulness and self-compassion, and particularly for children and caregivers. Her name is Jamie Lynn Tatera. And she has a book called Mindfulness and Self-Compassion, a workbook for kids. And the plug is that right now, through Sunday, and Sunday is May 25th, her book is free to download over on Amazon. So if you Google Mindfulness and Self-Compassion, Workbook for Kids by Jamie Lynn Tatera, Tatera, and I will put a link in the show notes so that you can click to this. If you get to this before Sunday, you can get a free copy for yourself I know she would appreciate any stars if you enjoy this book, but this is a workbook that you could do with your kids, or frankly, probably on your own as well if you don't have kids. So how cool is it that we have another expert in our midst? I mentioned the story of those caramel delights, and reader Lisa, thank you very much, wrote in to tell me that Aldi's makes a copycat caramel delight. And wouldn't you know it, the Aldi's near my house has them. So I've been thinking a lot about that as the metaphor of what it's going to be like after this detox, right? Knowing that I can come back. I probably will come back because it's 2025 and things happen online. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll have such an enjoyable, peaceful, creative month offline that I will have no interest in coming back. But I was thinking about these cookies and knowing that they exist now at Aldi's. And did I go and buy 3 boxes? Yes, I did. But do I now need to learn how to keep my attention on still enjoying each cookie that I have instead of scarfing 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 5? I'm not going to lie. There was one day I had 5, right? And that is not what I want to be doing with my attention. So I'm noticing that in the same way that I hope that this month off screens will help me notice what it feels like to be back on. Because I will be honest, even though they tasted delicious in the moment, eating 5 of those cookies in one day did not feel good. That was too much. And so I'm looking forward to the noticing of how I feel in my spirit, in my body, while I'm off the socials, and then how it will feel if I dip my toe back in, not starting with 5 cookies in one day, not starting with 2.5 hours a day or 2 hours and 23 minutes, whatever the average is. No, let's see if we can dip back in one bite at a time. We had a parent night at our school last night, our digital literacy group that Tekla and I are a part of. And we invited a local pediatrician to come and talk with us. This conversation last night was just a reminder to me, and seeing so many parents in the room who came to find out what they can do, how we can support each other, how we can get together as parents in a school community or in a neighborhood community or just in a social community, however you group with the people that you know and love. But how can we do this together and support each other? And so again, it was just a beautiful reminder that social media may have started with the best intentions to connect us, but what really connects us is in real life opportunities to be with people, to talk, to support each other, to be creative with each other. So I would invite you listeners to get with your people. Who are your people who support you in whatever journey you're on, whether it's has to do with social media or not, just in general. I feel like we are going into a time where groups and connections and in real life opportunities for building bridges, having conversations, gathering are just so important. And so if you're not in groups like that, create one. Priya Parker has some excellent guides on how to create gatherings. If you've not read The Art of Gathering, might I recommend? That is an excellent book with lots of fun ideas. And I said it before, but sign up for the newsletter and you can find out how to meet Cream City Dreamers in real life. I am moving towards that as well. I am hoping that over the summer and especially into fall when the kids go back to school and my time is a little freer, that I have time to pull more people together and to organize more gatherings, because getting out, much as I love this little pink office on the 3rd floor of my house, getting out and into the world and meeting people is what brings me joy. And I would love to do it with like-minded people. And I feel like like-minded people might be the people who listen to Cream City Dreams podcasts. I'm just saying. All right, I will be back next Wednesday with the final installment of my conversation with Tekla Brumder-Ross, the clinical psychologist and addiction specialist, self-compassion and mindfulness thought leader and friend who is right there in the trenches with us all. And we are talking practical. We are talking about how it's going to go come June 1st when the apps are off my phone? What do I do if my hand automatically reaches for them? What are some other things that might happen that I can expect and not shame myself if they do? What to do if I fall off the wagon and sneak a peek? All of the things that come with a detox and that come with addiction. We're talking about it. We're getting real, and she's giving us some real and practical things we can expect and then that we can do. So I hope you will tune in on Wednesday and let me know how this is landing for you. I always love to hear from listeners. And if you shoot me a voice memo, which you can do directly from the website, creamcitydreams.com, I may play it on next week's digest. So I would love to hear and I would love to share, because the more we know that we're not alone, the more it gets easier. All right, until next Wednesday, keep on dreaming.